Alright, in this exercise we're going to go over how to offload data that's stored in Arc Online that might have been collected with field maps or just created in the web portal itself. This is doable within Arc Pro. This version here is 3.2. It should be relevant to most versions of Arc Pro though, because this hasn't changed too much. Alright, so I have a map open already, and you can have any map open. I like to make a separate one sometimes just for offloading the data. So we can call this one data offload. But you don't have to make a new one, you can do it to a working map. So make sure that you are logged into your account portal that you collected the data with in field maps. It'd be a personal one or a company one. This is my personal one here. So to add the data, we go over here to our map and we go to add data. You have three options within the, did something weird. Within the portal, there is a My Content, and this will be all your data that's on Arc Online or field maps kind of displayed within this view. For this example here, let's go with field maps testing, and this was a point and line feature layer I created a couple years ago. Boom. So there they are, a handful of points and some polylines that I think I drew within field maps in the field itself. So all these features, as you can see, are stored online. If you ever wonder if something is local or online, it can be a little confusing when you've got a lot of stuff added to your map. Just right click it, go to properties, and the source should point to either a local address or a web service right here. So we have our points, we have some polylines. We want to get these off of the online portal and move it locally so we can work with it or store it. So you can work with in a geodatabase. I know some folks use shapefiles within folders. Either one is fine for this method. So let's select collection points, right click, data, export features. So here's our web feature, and we're going to put it into our local address here, our local geodatabase, which is GIS training vids. So I'm going to call it collection points. It's a good practice to put the date of offload or the date that might have been captured, just to put a date with the points so you can differentiate it from other ones you might collect for the same project. Alright, so that is now in there. You see it in our geodatabase. Be mindful that your web feature layer is still on here, so I like to remove stuff whenever I've added it locally so I don't get confused about which one's which. So here's the poly one, right, data, export features. So there's our web feature layer, and it's going to go in that geodatabase. We can call it AOI poly 524. Alright, so we can remove our web feature layer. If you make any edits or changes to the points or the polys or whatever you've got within the web feature layer, it does save it in there, so that's why I don't really like to work with it right off of the online service for doing my data manipulation. I like to move it locally, so that's personal preference, but it's nice to keep kind of a secure unedited online version and then move what you need locally to work with. Alright, so that is how you move data off Arc Online. Should be either a shapefile in a folder for you or in a geodatabase, and those files are still on the portal if you need to get to them until you remove them.